Have you ever heard of a man called Sir Ken Robinson? He is an educationalist within the subject of arts and a person I've been very inspired by. He states the following: in order to be creative, you have to be allowed to make mistakes. So, to be creative, you have to be allowed to make mistakes. As mentioned before, my name is Björn Runow. I graduated from high school 2 years ago. I was the student council president and had quite good grades. But I was not very good at allowing myself to make mistakes. A rather uncreative mind, according to Sir Ken Robinson. At school today, we're very focused on finding the correct answer. We get the problem that we're asked to solve. If we solve it using the right method without making errors, we get full marks. If we make mistakes, we get less. And if we have completely misunderstood how the task should be solved and solved it in a different way, then we get 0 points. What I think is the most fundamental problem in today's education is that we are asked to solve problems instead of also creating them. By creating problems, I mean what the teacher does when he creates a test, or what the person does when he, based on observations, perceives what the problem is. To create a problem which mathematical methods can be applied on requires a lot more understanding and creativity. You need to be able to think backwards and be well aware of how each component that is introduced in the problem plays a role. Every little detail has its function in the solution, and, from my own experience, practicing creating problems tremendously increases the person's ability to decide what information is important when the task is to only solve a given problem. Unfortunately, today, it's relatively common that students memorize methods to solve problems that are the same nature as those encountered previously. Actually, sometimes it even feels like today's young people are born with an input for USB memory. I think I was, at least. A couple of days before it's time for the test, they stick in their USB and fill it with information, which not necessarily have to be understood. Once the test is done, trash automatically starts to clear the memory on things that are not used in everyday life, which is quite a lot, especially in mathematics. They then fill it up again with new information from another subject. The funny thing, though, is that memory today is very cheap. You can buy 3 terabytes of memory for just a little more than $100. My point is, we don't need students who engage in superficial learning. What we need are students that understand, that can apply the techniques they have learned to solve real problems that they themselves have perceived exist. Out in the real world, it is not written anywhere how the problem looks like. You must find it out yourself. Inability to create problems is one of the main reasons to why many people don't see any practical application of what they study in mathematics, which is understandable given how it is taught today. I am aware that this is a complex problem. One could say it's an equation of the harder kind to solve, with many different variables. But I am still convinced that a small shift in focus from solving problems to creating problems in all cases would steer us a bit more towards the right direction. For right now, we're about to make a real ditch drive. Students that don't acquire adequate math skills from high school may not be capable of finishing that dream education. For example, chemistry, engineering, or statistics. And this can lead to great personal suffering for the individual, but also to social problems as business competitiveness erode over time. I am aiming to help to fundamentally change the view of mathematics as something difficult and incomprehensible. This by increasing students' abilities to create problems, improve their understanding, and by reducing the frustration and low self-esteem that mathematics studies today often lead to. So, take the chance. Dare to see the new solutions and opportunities. And join me, and let's go together on a journey towards a happier mathematics Sweden. Thank you.